Greetings and salutations, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the AfterTaste Movie Reviews. This week we are talking about the super buzzy and Oscar award contending film Parasite. So this film was directed and co-written by Won-ho Bong, and he has found varying levels of success throughout his career. He's directed films such as Snowpiercer and kind of the cult classic film on Netflix called Okja. And just to start by jumping right into it, I think this is Won-ho Bong's masterpiece. Many people have said that, and I feel kind of sorry and unoriginal for being so unoriginal, but it can't be said enough. I thoroughly enjoyed the film from the moment it came on screen all the way until the end. This is a Korean film, as I mentioned, and I did watch it with English subtitles. Just to talk a little bit about where the film goes, this film follows Ki Taek and his family as they struggle to make a living. They are living in a downtown apartment, and they're just struggling to make ends meet. They, as we find them, they're actually making pizza boxes for a living. And just to think that that's a job outside of an actual pizza chain is crazy. But by sheer luck, Ki-woo, which is the son in this family, has a friend come up to him and offer him a position, basically working for the Parks family. And they are a very well-off family, and he poses as a English tutor. But you can kind of tell right away that there's something much more sinister about this plot. As the movie goes along, you find that anyway, the English teacher kid, he starts unwinding a scheme, and this scheme basically plays out where all of the members of the Parks family have all of their nannies, all of their tutors, their drivers, all of them are pushed out and replaced by Ki-woo's family. So by the end of it, all four members of the family are now employed by the Parks under secret identities. And as the film progresses, it once again proves that life has great things, but they almost never last forever. So we find that the plot unwinds into basically an unceasing winner-take-all class war. So as I mentioned, there's a lot to unpack, but I love this movie. And much can be said about the thriller aspect, but I wanted to start off by telling you just how funny the movie is. The chemistry between the main characters are just so spot on. Each character is super built up, and they have little quirks that are referenced throughout the entire film, and it's just masterfully directed. He's a genius. The director is a genius. He carefully weaves comedic aspects into this thriller so effortlessly, and it very well could have just been another thriller, but since it's so well put together, it really stands out. Also, something I want to talk about is the color palette of this film. The design of the modern house was such a perfect canvas for all the brightness and darkness contrast. Often by design, it would be scenes would be interrupted by the contrast from dark to light or light to dark. And as the film progressed, I felt every little decision and act by every one of our characters. And this was due to the expertly crafted, built-up scenes that were so subtle and had so much tensity to them. It was a slow build. As the first act can be described as basically a heist act, it slowly integrated their plan as it was going, and I couldn't help but have a smile on my face the whole time. The second act, where it is where all the tenseness really starts, they fully integrated into the Park family, and the entire time you're just waiting for a crash and burn. But scenes lay groundwork, scene after scene after scene, leading up to an almost perfect third act. And once this movie gets going, it is unrelentless. On its way down the mountain, there's nothing stopping it. Once the plan starts to unravel, it doesn't stop for anyone until the movie is over. There are scenes that were so expertly put together. I was on the edge of my seat until just, oh man, it was so crazily good. I was on the edge of my seat, and I just did not know what was going to happen. It was really a glorious thing when it comes to filmmaking. Obviously, with all films, there are a few things I think that could have been fixed. It could be said that the ending was a bit unnecessary, and I can see that. I've also seen a lot of other Korean films where they do kind of wrap up in a bow more than a lot of other films. So I don't really hold that against the movie, but this movie feels like it has a lock on for an Oscar, and it also feels like it has a great opportunity to succeed in a lot of other categories. So we're not done hearing about this movie, and you should go check it out. This movie has a distribution that's a little bit harder to get a hold of, so you might have to go out of town to watch it. It's not going to be in every single town, but it is super worth your time. I promise you'll like it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do because not everybody likes it. My wife didn't even like it. I love this movie though. Go check it out. Once again, this has been the Aftertaste movie review. Thank you so much for checking us out on our Aftertaste stuff. We are on podcast form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. You can also check us out on the YouTubes, and we're on Twitter at Aftertaste Movie, and on Facebook at Aftertaste Movies with an S. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Deuces.